My whole heart. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hi! I'm so excited. I am so excited.
Yes, we're waiting on Gloria. Yes. I am so excited.
Me too. It's gonna be so much
Oh,
fun.
yes.
I'll just take on your cues. You just let me know whatever to do, and I'll stand here.
I'm just gonna hang tight for a minute, and we're just gonna wait on Gloria.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a necklace.
Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Everybody, is it everybody camera working okay? Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you. I
Mm-hmm.
think we need to change her name because I changed her. I'm going to change her name to my name. Girl, don't laugh. Okay, Lord have mercy. What is okay? What's that's not okay? I'm like, that's not me. Lord,
Alexaraye.
spell it for me. Spell it.
Oh, Alexaraye.
Uh-huh.
I think I got it.
Oh, that's okay.
There
Good.
you go.
Okay.
I couldn't
Okay,
make.
because
I was trying to make the little boxes big boxes, and I was like, oh no. Let me know
okay.
when I should come back on camera. Like, I'll follow your lead.
Okay, yeah, come on
Okay.
camera. Yeah,
It
girl. We were
says,
just trying. Everybody just trying to get cute, trying to get ready.
hello. It says you cannot
Hey,
search your
Charles, all
video.
right too.
Right. A real Facebook Live.
It says you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it.
Okay, let me start it again. Okay, what about now?
Still says it.
Oh wow. Okay, let's see.
Did you guys see that the cat video with the guy on oh, here it is. I'll start my video. Did you guys see that thing? Like it was like a court thing where the guy, he's like an attorney or something, and he had a cat filter on, and the whole time he's like, I believe me, I'm here. I'm not really a cat. I just don't know how to remove it.
Oh my gosh, no.
It was so funny. Oh, I was busted up laughing. Hi guys. Hello. Nice to meet you guys.
Yes, yes. Oh, I'm so excited. Guys, welcome to our Mindfulness Thursday, our Thursday Mindfulness. I'm so happy to be back on with you guys. Woo! This morning was awesome, man. I was so enlightened by this morning with our dear friend, Instagram friend. Now I just call her my sister, Sevion. Sebion Liber, and she really enlightened us. She's the founder of the Joyous Parent. She's a parent coach, and I just simply enjoyed everything that she laid out about mindfulness. I was so enlightened, and I hope you guys caught our coffee and conversations this morning at 9:30 with her. She is having a free webinar for parents, so please check her page out on Facebook at The Joyous Parent. Find some information about parenting and incorporating the learning through play theory with your parenting and mindfulness. It was powerful this morning. Dr. Gloria Ed Kitchen was with us on this morning, and thank you so much for supporting. And so many of you guys out there who were not able to watch right live, but were able to see it there afterwards. I hope you were enlightened just like me, because I was totally blown away. And so we're just gonna keep going higher and higher. I am so excited to be with you guys this afternoon. Thank you so much. So we're just gonna create a sharing space and tell a little bit about ourselves, and whatever you feel like you want to share with us, please go ahead and do so. Who want to start?
I'm so shy. I just want to say thank you so much for having us on here. It's such an honor to share space with two queens, and I'm just love what you're putting out there, and that's really cool to see all of us just kind of rising in our own voices and coming together and supporting each other and rooting each other on. Is so my jam. I'll quickly introduce myself really fast if that works, and then just so if I haven't had the opportunity to meet some of you guys, my name is Alexaraye Vallejo. I'm here in Portland, Oregon. I'm a children's and adult mindfulness educator, and I'm the newly CEO of the Mindful Care Collective and the Mindful Nanny Collective. It's my true passion to change my family's legacy. It kind of all started when I was 5, and I've done everything I can to kind of figure out how to help caregivers of children support themselves and to understand themselves through mindfulness. So I train caregivers of children, including preschools, daycares, nannies, and families in mindfulness practices. And my goal is to help the next generation of caregivers thrive and really adapt in our ever-changing world. So I provide live and virtual on-demand trainings at preferred prices for all support of all folks. And you can contact me at themindfulcarecollective.com, or you can also find me more prominently on Instagram at the Mindful Care Collective and the Mindful Nanny Collective. So I guess it's very nice to meet you guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, yes, we have been trying to collaborate for, oh my gosh, since last year. I'm so psyched to be on this platform with you. Oh my gosh, so psyched. Thank you so much for just accepting the invitation so openly. Thank you.
Oh, goodness, absolutely. Super honored. Super honored.
All right, to my sister, my friend, my bestie, my confidant, my big sister, Gloria and Kitchen.
You hear me? Well, she has such an elaborate speech. I'm just like, I just got finished sending over a bio for something, and I was like, a brief bio. So what I'm going to say about myself is, hello, everyone. If you do not know me, my name is Gloria Ann Kitchen, and what I have coined myself, and I was afraid to do it, but the mindfulness has helped me to become real and authentic with myself: musician, educator, and innovator. So in those three categories, that explains who I am. So I am a musician, I am creative, I am intuitive, and all of that nature. I am an expert, okay, in my field, okay, of instructional design, technology, and curriculum development. And also the innovative aspect of it is where I have went ahead to start my company, which is number one, engage.edu. We are the experts in instructional design, curriculum development, and professional development. In addition to that, I am the founder for Children's Island, where learning is a breeze. So that is being flourishing right now. So, you know, we have our 28 days of the great African-American reading that's going on right now. So if I just had to coin myself in those things, which taking myself out the box and taking the limits off, is that I'm a musician, educator, and innovator. And so mindfulness has been very important to me. And I found that out when I was working a job that I really liked, but the person that I was working with didn't like me. And so it was really hard, you know. So they gave us, the organization was very grateful enough to have a mindfulness training in which we were able to have 8 weeks of training with a person who is mindfulness certified. And we obtained the certification, at least the first level of the certification. So that got me into the mindfulness because it forced me to be authentic, real, and also take the limits off myself, and then also take the blinders off the eyes, and also take the blinders off my life. So that is where, you know, so I've gained the interest of understanding what mindfulness is. I've been taking classes. So, you know, if you're ready to do the work, that's when mindfulness comes into play. So as someone who has lived things, okay, experience things, then, you know, I think that's when you're ready to do the mindfulness things.
Wow. That's powerful. Yes. That is powerful. You got to do the work.
Yes.
You got to do the work. Yes. So since you jumpstart that off, Glow, but for you, Alexa, what is mindfulness? How does that look to you? What is mindfulness?
I love that question, because like if you Google mindfulness, there's like a million different definitions, and it's so like reflective to each person. But we do know is that our leading science and our leading educators in the U.S. and across the world have made real lengths of understanding what mindfulness is cognitively, and really looking at the brain of a developing mind and bringing attention and awareness that our brain has the full capability to change now, even as adults, through time and consistency. And just like Gloria said, you have to embody this change to really understand what mindfulness is. But mindfulness for me specifically it's much different than meditation. While the two look very much the same, mindfulness and meditation, they're different. Meditation is a beautiful way that a lot of various religious cultures across the globe are able to access their practices and prayer and so forth. And mindfulness is really a day-by-day understanding or evolution of what it's like to be in the present moment. So on a basic level, if we're looking at just like washing our hands or taking a shower without being in thoughts that are in the future or the past, and maybe even mindfully eating really eating with true pleasure, understanding and feeling and sensing into the taste of things, or having a conversation, it kind of builds up into this evolution of then you become so aware in your mindfulness practices of when you're actively listening or engaging with somebody. And on a deeper level for me, I came from a really traumatic childhood, lots of abuse, and I was completely disconnected from my body most of my life. And mindfulness and therapy, deep work and getting in the ring with myself really opened up a space where I got to know my emotions and I got to learn what self-care was. And self-care is getting to know these pieces of ourselves. We all have different experiences that stream from them, but this is completely revolutionized the way that I care for individuals. And I additionally am a yoga teacher as well. So I use the two concepts to help people feel through their body, move in those big emotions. And I am certified in mindfulness. So I take that and now I train caregivers of children. That's my niche. And being a nanny, I really believe that domestic care providers have to have something like this. They're raising the next generation. We have to take some responsibility of what's going on in here. So that's I created the Mindful Care Collective in an effort to bring anybody together because I don't have all the answers, and I certainly have one experience to live off of and teach from. And I want people from various different experiences to come together and make it a space for anybody to connect with. You know, to connect with Gloria or Jocelyn or the gal that you talked about today. Somebody's going to feel like they have a connection with each teacher, and I want to be able to make that accessible. So that's my hope. As a collective, we'll raise the next generation together.
Wow. What are some routines that you guys do? It doesn't necessarily be day to day, but what are some routine type of mindfulness that you take on, that you implemented within your lifestyle? What are some mindfulness techniques? Because some of us are, we don't, like me, I am kind of, I know there's no kind of, I am, I am, I want to embrace mindfulness. So I am very new at really understanding mindfulness as a whole. I know bits and pieces, very little bits and pieces. And I really want to dive into that. So, I would like to know what are some examples of mindful tips or things that you integrated in your lifestyle that really grounds you and that you can call mindfulness.
Gloria, you want to go first?
Yes. You know what when you were saying that, I was watching myself in Bo's, is Alexaraye?
Yes, no problem. It's a mouthful, I know. And then you add my whole Hispanic name. It's a whole thing. It's Alexaraye.
Alexaraye. Okay, sorry about. Excuse me. I don't want to mention Ray. Alexaraye. Thank you. I was watching when you were talking, and I was watching both of us. And one of the things that I truly believe that when you come into mindfulness to me, I feel like it's definitely you tapping into your spirit. Okay, it's tapping into your soul. Okay, your soul. Okay, but one thing when you get into mindfulness, if you would just play back when you were talking, you become an active listener. You saw how we did not jump to say anything to you at all. We listened to you throughout, and we paused before we got ready to say anything. It was not allowing ourselves to be in competition with you or make sure that we get anything out. It's the fact that we both were present. We wanted to hear what you were saying. Hear. Beyond the listening, we wanted to be a part of the entire experience of what you were saying, and then also make a conscious thought and or thoughts before we said anything, and we paused. Because what you said and what you were saying to us was important, and we valued that.
Yes. And even can I also add, even while you were speaking, I just felt myself, I could connect. It was like a connection, like it was your voice. And I was just watching how you were explaining and how you were expounding on your thoughts. Like it was like it was like this connection while you were talking that I felt. you know, as you were explaining, is that mindfulness? And is that
You know,
feeling, that connection, you
mm,
know? I
mm.
mean, I don't know.
That's a really good observation. And I think right now it's this, um, thank you for seeing me, by the way. And the active listening piece is so vitally important.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell when somebody's embodied something
Mm-hmm.
by the way that they're responding,
Mm-hmm.
they're really
Mm-hmm.
listening. For me, the first, 5 or 10 minutes of any time I do something like this is nervous mindfulness. It's a relationship of befriending my nervous part of myself,
Mm-hmm.
accelerating and slowing down. And the way that I ground in through my mindfulness is feel the feet beneath me and the ground. That's how for me, that's what I call my anchor.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of mindfulness teachers call this their anchor. Like, find your anchor in your body. And over a period of time and consistency, you can find something that works for you. For some people, it's their fingertips, breathing in and out of their fingertips, or your shoulders. For me, overcoming things and befriending things like PTSD, anxiety, and depression, my feet have become my anchor. And nobody knows that I'm using this tool while I'm using it. It's what slows me down. I start to breathe in through my feet and I bring the breath all the way towards the crown of my head. And then I breathe back out. And I use that for 5 cycles of breath because I know what's happening in the brain. And when I get into that fight or flight space, the blood can come back into here into the fight or flight space and leave the logic part of my brain, the front part of my brain. And it can kind of hijack my story, my thoughts, what's going on. And so now that I've practiced this for now the last 6.5 years, it's been life altering, and it is a very personal experience to each person. There's certainly things that I think every mindfulness teacher, if they're honest, is going to say, yeah, not every day do I practice, but I do, not sitting and practicing, but I do stream everything I do through a consciousness of mindfulness. And almost sometimes it can be challenging to be on the other side of, like, I don't want to use the word woke, but it is like this very heightened awareness to what's going on, or even sensing into the emotions of others while creating kind of a boundary or a connection. It's fascinating. It's fascinating.
Wow, wow. And for you to really, what I've, what I've got from you is how in tune you are with one's body, with one's self. You've explained how you feel, when you're upset or you have that fight and flight, response, and you actually feel that you are in tune with that. A lot of us, like me, you know, you know it is what it is. I'm not in tune with it. I know it's going to happen, but the details in which you explained about how you feel, that is simply amazing. That's really amazing. So my question to you guys is, how did you guys get to this point? Where in your life, did you say, hey, I got to make this change and I'm turning to mindfulness? What happened? Where was that turn? How did all of that occur? Because you had to go through some things to get to the point to where you are. Gloria, you wanna?
I think that you come to a point where you get sick and tired of cycles. I can relate to having childhood trauma. I can relate to having, teenage trauma. I can relate to having adult trauma. And then you get tired of saying trauma. You really wasn't saying trauma. I mean, I wasn't saying trauma at that time. I was just like, Lord, just let's keep what's going on. And as you can read all of the motivational books. I have always been an avid reader of like all things motivation ever since I could like remember, before I even knew what a vision board was. I'm developing a vision board. I didn't know that, but I was doing that because I know that I wanted to accomplish this, that, and the other. But I know that it is when you realize within yourself that a change needs to come, because you do see people like Deepak Chopra. I've watched him, and I interviewed with the Chopra Center. Up to be their director of instructional design, but it's okay. And I'm okay with that. And I say that fully because I know that when you have your own lane and you know, God has expanded your territory, you need to flow with where he wants you to go. Okay. And, you know, I know that one time I heard him say, you know, Oprah was talking to him and she asked him, you know, who do you need to forgive? And he said, no one. And for somebody to say, like, I don't need to forgive nobody, what you doing? You know, and that was years ago. Like, what you doing when you don't need to forgive nobody? You made peace with everything. Like, you've made peace with everybody, everything, you know, anything. You done made peace with it, all things. And you know, so I truly believe you get to a point where you don't want to be like him, but you want to experience the best of life and all that life has for you. And you don't want to leave this world untapped and not have accomplished what God, the divine, the universe, you know, I believe in God, you know, what he has for you, you know. That's my thought process. And so I was at a place where, because see, mindfulness, it confronts you. You remember I was telling you, Johnson, you know, mindfulness confronts you because it's on you. It's no competition with nobody. Right. It's you on you. So you have to what? Tell the truth. You have to be honest. You can't be around here lying. You know what I mean? So I feel like if anything, if anybody ever wanted to get an honest opinion from me, you need to ask me in a mindfulness place, because I'm about to be real. Like right now, I'm very transparent, you know. When I went into surgery, went into surgery, and this is about 3 years ago. And the doctor was like, you know, there was like, oh, you just have a cyst on one of your ovaries. This is my mindfulness experience, okay? You have a cyst on your right ovary and everything. So, you know, I'm in church, boo-hoo crying, you know, my parents, they bishops, you know, they're anointing me. I'm crying. I'm just like, oh boy, you know, this is, you know, I'm not going to have kids. You know, I'm thinking about all this stuff and I'm just really done, you know? And so I go into surgery. One of my best friends, Jessa, she was there with me. And, you know, she's very, hi, sweetheart. She's Italian. Gloria, you know, all this stuff. And Adrian called me on the phone. If you know me, you know Adrian, my best friend. I am boohoo hollering. Like I've never had a surgery like this. I never went under the knife. And I'm like, Adrian, if anything happened to me, you know, you know where to go and look, you know, read this for me. And she's like, oh, shit, you know, she's like, you're going to be fine. Let us pray. I was like, okay, I'm just praying. Oh, so I go into surgery, and you know, when you have surgery, and I don't know whatever that is, that makes you very truthful too. That stuff, whatever they give you, you really are your real self. You know what I mean? You really are your real self. When you coming up from that anesthesia, you are your real self. You know what I mean? So I heard Jessa talk to someone, and it like I was waking up, you know, my recovery nurse had told me, you know, you're going to wake, I'm your recovery nurse and everything. So in the midst of me waking up and coming to myself, I hear Jessa says, yeah, you know, the surgery took longer than expected. And she did not only have one cyst, she had two, and there were two cysts on both of her ovaries. And her tubes were tied. And I woke up, I'm coming out of there. Excuse me, because I'm going to cuss. I said, what the fuck is going on with me? I'm that twisted inside, in the inside. This is why I couldn't create. This is why I couldn't do things, because I'm twisted inside. I can't produce. I'm messed up. I am messed up. So when that happened, I said, oh no, baby. A change has to come. And then that's when I realized, because I met someone, because when you get open, then things are going to start coming to you. I was ready to do the work. So that's when, you know, I met someone, her name is Yvonne Everett, and I met Erica. Erica, you know, both of them. Erica is a fashion designer, and Yvonne, she does event planning and coordinating. I met them, you know what I mean? But I was ready to do the work, and I was ready to do the soul work, because mindfulness is you know, we thought the loftier home and all that. No. It's the work of the equations. Like I say, the life equations of God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, and the courage to things, you know, I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That's a life equation, you know, and you have to go, and you have to be ready to do the work. And if you're not ready to do the work, then, you know, what can I say? But I knew from that moment I needed a change. So, and not be embarrassed to talk about that, you know, you thinking about what people say, you know, and so I know that I'm strong enough where I can talk about it, you know, and I don't care what no one has to say. So I feel that, yeah, that was my mindfulness experience. That's what made me realize I need to forgive. I need to forget about these people who ain't studying me, and ain't never try to study me. And I need to move forward, because it's either I choose myself.
Yeah.
That's
you know.
Yeah, that's powerful. That's powerful. Alexaraye?
Oh, can I just say, that was like a true testimony. That was really beautiful to just hear you say that, Gloria, and share your story. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just want to even take a moment and soak that in. I love that so much. And there's pieces of my story that are different, but very much the truth in what you just said. I actually just made a post. You guys can check it out so you know that I'm not like full of BS. But like 4 days ago, I posted about mindfulness. And like I recently got this a woman that I was trying to reach out to see if we wanted to partner in bringing mindfulness trainings to other parents. And we've been working with each other for a little while now. And she's like, so I still don't understand what you do. Like, is this like some sort of like self-care thing that you do? And I paused for a moment and I thought, that's a really valid question. But I still haven't responded back. I'm just taking a moment. And I was thinking about it, and then it prompted me to write that post. And it's kind of one of those things, like I love Brene Brown. She talks about, I love this quote from her: if you're not in the arena also getting your ass kicked, I'm not interested in your feedback. Because there were some other things that were streaming there in that conversation. And I don't know if you would, the truth is, I don't think that sitting with yourself, including your shame and your vulnerability and the emotional pieces that we carry, is self-care. But I would say that I do believe it's a space for you to get to know yourself, for you to, for the first time in a long time, learn how to be kind and compassionate with your story and what's going on in your heart and your soul. Like I call this, like with the kids I work with, like, what's your lens that you're looking through today? How are you doing? And through a certain exercise, we recognize, oh, I'm still carrying around the embarrassment that I had on the playground yesterday, or I'm still carrying around the words that my mom and dad gave me today, or I'm still carrying around the shame that I had from being sexually, abused. And that is my filter that I'm looking through life with. And it takes so much. It's such a personal story for each and every person. And I'm a true believer that when it is your time to find your journey, it is your time to find your journey. And God certainly brought me through that. I had an awakening. I went all the way. I almost had my life taken from me from a complete stranger. And I don't want to put any triggering stuff out there, so I'm not going to do that. But I had to move all the way to Hawaii to figure out that I had a story, and that it needed to be shown some respect, and it needed to be looked at and dig through. And there was so much more there, so much trial. I love what you said, Gloria, like childhood trauma, teenage trauma, adult trauma. And it's these life cycles, this family legacy that I had, that I knew that I had to break the cycle out of. Otherwise, I was going to continue to find friendships, relationships, employers. Everybody was going to surround myself through this lens of I had no self-worth. I had no connection to my body, my mind, my boundaries, what I needed. And the more I connected to myself, the more all of that just started shedding and falling away. And, you know, there was a lot of relationships that no longer served me anymore, meaning that we weren't going to see eye to eye anymore, because I was starting to implement my own boundaries, my self-worth, my emotional connection, how I felt around this person. And I didn't recognize it before. And it didn't mean I needed to be mean or unkind to anybody. It was just, I was standing on my own for the first time in my life. And mindfulness is something that I am thankful for. It's changed. The mundane activities of every single day are brighter and more beautiful now. And I have hope that just streams through simple activities like eating or moving my body or body shaming. Like I've body shamed my mom's side is white, and they're all very skinny, no boobs, no hips, no anything. My dad's side is Latino, and I didn't get raised with them most of my life. And so I had a familial family that really poked my ribs, body shamed me, like, what are you wearing? And I would wear baggy clothes all the time to cover up my body. And it's really interesting. That's a big part of like yoga, feeling into my body, finding self-worth, that I love my thighs and I love my hips and I love my jiggly arms and I love my breath. Like these are things that I've grown to love. And that's just on the outside. The inside is what mindfulness does. You get to understand this internal landscape and love yourself for it. And then when you meet other people, you can love them for their own embodied just self, and they're being themselves. And I hope that I think being a mindfulness teacher is simply about holding the space when people are ready to walk into their journey. I'm not a teacher that's going to give you the answers. No teacher ever should. The teacher should hold the space for you to embark on some space, and you should go to a certified mindfulness teacher. I get this a lot, like when people go through the mindful nanny training, like, okay, I'm ready to do this. I'm like, oh no, let's clarify this before you take this training. This is to embody this practice yourself, and that's just the beginning of the journey. This is just the beginning. And they see it on the other side, right? Like, but you really should go to a certified trauma informed provider if you really want to, be supported and led in a direction. That's what I believe in. But that was a really great question. And then I got to say, like, when you meet your tribe, you know it. And I'm really grateful for the two of you. This is really, it's nice to be able to have a conversation and hear Gloria say the stuff that you say. You sound like my sisters here. And it's just really, it's an honor. It's really an honor. Thank you for listening.
Man, this is a heavy conversation. I'm telling you guys, if you have just tuned in, welcome. We are talking about mindfulness. We're talking about embodying mindfulness and understanding mindfulness as a whole. We have stories that have been shared amongst Gloria and Alexaraye. I'm telling you, I am getting full over here. This is deep. And it's so I'm so connected with you guys, and I feel what you guys are saying, and I just want to thank you for your transparency. Thank you so much, because somebody out here needs to hear what you guys are saying. I need to hear it, and I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. Because Gloria knows. Gloria is my confidant, one of my confidants, and she knows what I've been going through for 2 years. I've been going through depression. I have been going through it. And I just want to thank you guys for just being on this platform and just being so transparent to help others and to help me to really get connected with myself and leaving those things that are not, that are not good for us, and being in tune with the things, with ourselves, and putting ourselves first. I just want to thank you guys for that. This is just a truly amazing. And I didn't mean to get all emotional, but I've been full since the beginning, since this morning, understanding mindfulness, because I've been through traumas, in my life, and I've been date raped. I've been through it, and I know I've held on to a lot of trauma. And it was so profound this morning that Savon was saying about us holding in our emotions. Holding in emotion is trauma. It becomes trauma. And, so many people hold in so many emotions, and a lot of times with women, you know, we hold it in our wounds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we hold it in our wounds, and you know, it's so important that we create spaces, you know, that we can really express ourselves with no judgment zone. I'm so thankful that I have friends that I can come to and just be transparent with them, and it's no judgment, you know, no matter how ugly the situation is, how ugly I look, you know, in front of them, they still accept me for who I am. And I am so thankful for that. I am so thankful and so grateful for that. So thank you guys for that. So the next question that I want to ask is that mindfulness, I feel like, you know, it's not accessible to all communities, or some people may not have the privilege of really knowing what mindfulness really is. And we all are women of color. How have you influenced your communities or people of color with the um with understanding what mindfulness is? How do you guys introduce that to people of color, because it can be something very new to a lot of people, and some people are not even aware of it or even have the resources to even understand or go to someone about mindfulness. How do we introduce this into our community, in our Black and brown communities?
I can give you the politically correct answer.
Oh, we can't hear you.
I said that the politically correct answer, okay, would be, having everyone to attend a mindfulness conference or have everyone to attend this, that, and the other. What I do believe is the best thing, because one of the things that I found out about doing, um, understanding what mindfulness is that, and this is just like, well, you would probably consider it like a golden rule type of thing, um, by how you live your life, how you live your life and the things that you do, you let your little light shine. But when you realize that, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine, given that we are and perfectly designed, okay, by the master creator, that means that we are perfect in our own right. And within our own right, we have our own light. So it's not his light, because he has the biggest light, but our light that we have, we allow that to shine. So I believe that as I continue to be true to who I am and the things that I do, that is going to radiate. It's going to shine. It's going to gleam. And then people are going to want to know what it is she doing. And then when they hear little bits and pieces of stories or the things that I do or whatever I do, it's gonna radiate, and it's gonna have a vibration, vibration energy. And also, Alexaraye, I don't know if this is something that you do, but one of the things that I know, that when I started become more mindful, okay, then I started looking at things from a different, like, things started changing. What I eat, what I wear, what I do, my surroundings. It's like it's a change. And it's not that I'm being, and also yoga. A lot of people, are against yoga because they're like, I was talking to you about it before, Jocelyn, we talked about it earlier today, that people, when they're saying, oh, well, we taught you saying somebody from the devil, and you get that.
Right.
You get that, right? You get that. But what I was telling Jocelyn is that there's a neuroscience behind that.
Right.
Those sounds and those syllables and things of that nature. And while, yes, you can connect a lot of things to demonic forces, and you can do that, okay? One of those things that I was telling Jocelyn is that when you hear, that's wound sounds.
Mm-hmm.
We all can resonate with those sounds
Mm-hmm.
and hum and ah and because even when we say it, it resonates down within our lower register of our strength. So those are sounds that we heard from the beginning of existence of ourself, the conception of ourself. There were sounds.
Wow.
So the neuroscience behind that, you know what I mean? You get where I'm coming from? The neuroscience of that is that's a connection. There's a connection there, you know? So while I do believe that, you know, there are certain things that, you know, people have created different other gods and different acknowledgments on different things, I do not believe that that there is something negative about that, because when you get into, I just believe that getting into a state of being mindful really puts you back into center alignment of who you are at the soul level. At the soul level. And any person that is in a spiritual alignment, soul alignment, not just spiritual alignment, I'm talking about the soul, because that's why I believe mindfulness hits you at the soul. It targets the soul. It doesn't just, you know, soul, spirit, body, all that, you know, those levels. So it targets the soul. It meets you at the soul level. So when your soul changes, everything around you is going to change. You're not going to eat the same. You're going to be saying, you know, I don't think I want this soda anymore. I'm going to probably get me a San Pellegrino, and I'll get me or something. You know what I mean? I'm going to do something different. I'm going to, you know, even if you're drinking soda, you're going to get the boozy soda. You know what I mean? You're going to up it. You know what I mean? Because you're going to look at things differently. So it's at the soul level that you are healed. And it's at the soul level where change is going to come. It's at the soul level you're going to be able to do work. Period. So it's at the soul level. That's when you start changing it at the soul, and people are going to see it. You don't have to tell nobody I'm doing my work, because your work is going to shine.
Yeah,
it's going to shine.
100%.
It's going to shine. You know, you know. For example, let me just say this last transparent thing, and I know I probably should have said it. You know, I was getting a little, you know, I wasn't going to say it, but I'm going to say it because I'm in the truth space. I told you, I was honest about it, and I was getting really upset with, not upset. I was getting, I was just like, why are these people not liking this page? Why are they not liking the page? I don't understand. Why are they not liking the page? Why are they not liking the page? Like, we should have more people, da-da-da. Right. And then, you know, when I think about it, because when you ask your soul questions, your soul is going to answer back. I don't care what nobody say, you know, and I come from the church of holiness. Okay. I come from the church of holiness, Pentecostal. Okay. When you ask your soul a question, your soul is going to respond. You may not like what it's going to say, but it's going to respond. And one of the things that in my mindfulness state, when I step back and I become mindful, I'm doing the work. So am I going to allow the anxiety to get me, or I'm going to stay focused on what I'm doing? Because I know that I'm doing soul work. I know that I'm been called to do this. It's okay. Y'all don't have to like it. God likes it.
Yeah. 100%.
And you like it. Both of you.
That's all I mean. You like it.
Yep.
You don't have to like it. He loves it. He likes it.
Yep.
His stamp of approval is on it. I'm good. Yeah. I'm good. The page it's gonna soar. Yeah. Because I'm doing soul work. I'm called to do this. And when you really get to the point where you know that I'm called to do whatever that I'm doing and the things that I'm called to do, and sometimes it could be more than one thing. When you're called to do that, you have all the grace, you have all the faith, you have everything else you need to do what you need to do.
Yeah. And I want to piggyback on what you were saying, you know, about, you know, the acceptance that, you know, is pleasing to him, it's pleasing to the creator. You know, like for, you know, week 1, I know that, you know, things that I do, it can be outside the box. Okay. I'm very creative and I'm an Aquarius. So it's just who I am. And I know that this project is outside the box. I know it is.
Ah, it's amazing.
You know, uh,
It's amazing. It's
thank
amazing.
you.
Yes.
Thank you. And, for other educators, I'm like, okay, I'm doing this for y'all. I got to put something out here. We need somebody in the community to pat our backs because we're going through so much. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm putting it out here.
Yeah.
I know that God gave me this. I'm like, I'm putting it out here because I know that people in the community need some support. They need it because so much is going on with the pandemic and school and people in society. Parents are like just jumping on teachers because they feel like they're not doing their job. They need to be in the building, and people are fearing for their lives, and whatever, and the choices that they make, they're getting all kinds of just backlash. And I'm like, somebody in the community needs to stand and help, and say it's going to be okay. Somebody within the community. I'm like, I'm doing it, and I know it's for other educators what I'm doing, it's like, I don't know. Okay. I see what you're saying, Glo. It's like, I don't think they really get it. Some of them don't get it. And it what I'm doing, like body positivity, I got my thighs out. I got this, this sexual aura going on. But it's not even about, it's about loving you.
Yes.
The whole trajectory is about loving you, no matter what. We are educators, but we're people, And so, when you said that, that really resonated with me, because I know that for educators, this is totally different. This is, is not the norm. It's not learning through play day. It's not, talking about transitions. The focus is on us, and we are so focused on other people that we forget. Okay, thank you, Gloria. She has another. She has to do the author's reading. So
how do I find you, Gloria, on Insta? Like, where do we find you?
Tell everybody how we can find you.
Oh, okay. On Instagram, it's at Gloria Kitchen. That's on Instagram. I'm gonna get back on Instagram and be more,
Awesome.
influence. And then also with Facebook, it's just my real name. Okay, Gloria and Kitchen, and it's on Facebook. So, but we definitely will connect again. Let me get on here because Kyra just
okay. Yeah, you got like 4 minutes.
That's so nice to meet you.
You can also find her on Children's Island on Facebook as well. Children's Island.
Children's Island. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not good at Facebook. I'm definitely I'm not great at Facebook, but I'm really on Instagram. I decided mindfully to like choose one platform.
Yes, me too.
Yes.
Me too.
You are amazing. And the fact that, I think, like, to answer your question about making this accessible for everybody, I think, and to tie in what Gloria had to say too, more people like you and me and Gloria and our community have to start normalizing these conversations.
Yes.
And the more we normalize them, what I found out, and like really even walking into my own journey, I had to hear a bunch of other people talk about their stuff for me to open up and for me to get in the ring with myself and recognize that, oh, I do have a story, and I've been playing small, like my story doesn't matter. Yeah. And I do have a story, and it needs to be faced and heard and seen and soothed so that I can make a difference in this world and not just feel like I'm not supposed to be here. I've really gone from a place of feeling like my life wasn't worth it to really coming into mindfulness, and through getting in the ring with myself to find a beacon of hope. And somebody else, like Gloria was saying, somebody else was a light in my life. And that's what drew me towards it, because I knew I could trust them. I connected with them. They were authentic and they were vulnerable. They were doing their work. And I wanted to be that person that also did my work. And I think that's what people gravitate. I know that's what people gravitate towards. And that's why there needs to be so many different individuals that do it, because there's going to be certain people that are going to gravitate towards Gloria or you or my other friend, you know what I mean? Like, versus me. And then that's the perfect place to be that connector, together.
Yes. I think that's Gloria, Becky.
Oh no.
Yeah, we share the account.
Oh, you do? Oh, do we need to get off? Sorry.
No. Yeah. Because that's right. We sharing the account. That's right. Okay, guys. Well, we gotta cut it short. But Alexa, please tell us how we can find you. This conversation has been so, oh my God, amazing.
Find me on Instagram. If you need help, just even like if paying for a training is not accessible for you, let me know. Like slide into my DM, Mindful Care Collective, and that's for all caregivers. Any folks, you don't even have to be a caregiver per se, but that's my niche is I target people that are taking care of children, and I support them because I know what that's like. And then Mindful Nanny Collective for those nannies. If you can't afford a training, let me know. I'm happy to help in whatever way I can pass this forward. Big love to you guys. We got to connect again. This was I was holding back tears. You guys are amazing. You're queens. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in. This has been so good. I'm sorry we gotta cut it short.
Oh, yes, I respect Gloria's time. Thank you so much. Big love.
Bye guys. Let me cut this. Okay.
We can't get in the thing until Lord have mercy. I'm so sorry, but let me jump in here for Karen have a conniption.
Oh Lord. Okay, so I'm finna go on StreamYard. So I'll see y'all later.
Okay.
All right. Bye.